1. You are live.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Monday, huge football weekend. Y'all know what day it is. It's the national championship, so we're going to talk about that. Dan's going to give us his LFG or WTF in that game. Strong NBA slate. These games start in an hour. This is one of the better days of sports. So let's bring in Dan. Dan, who's going to help us navigate this day? Because we already have a cricket play going right now. Like,
of course you do. Of course you do, Andy.
Australian Open plays. Like, we're off and running, baby.
Yeah, you roll into Monday, sitting atop the leaderboard. We had a great weekend with the team, and then you're like, I'm just sweating a live cricket play with the folks. Not much of a sweat, but let's keep that going. Knock on wood. First things first, pumped to be back with you guys. I missed the chat. I missed you, Gianni. So happy to be here as back on the East Coast. As far as the show today goes, we know you guys want to get thoughts on the national championship. We broke this thing down from every which way, but Steve Merril will end the show with a full breakdown here coming in the national championship game. We're obviously going to get the steam. What we're seeing today with Gianni is the buyback finally coming on Miami. We're going to talk with Gianni The Greek right here at the top. And we got Crackman coming on. I'm going to push him. I'm gonna put feet to the fire. I'm gonna get a prop from you guys some way, somehow. A prop coming from Bill Krackomberger by hell or high water. We're going to get some thoughts from him as well. The NFL Conference Championships. We'll react a little bit to that. And Steve, talking about that NBA slate that we got, Andy. Mavs and Knicks, great game going tonight, and Celtics Pistons. He's going to give you bets on both of them. Andy's got all around the world. We got hella great specials for all of you guys. And Andy, if you can't tell, I'm pretty pumped up. I love this time of year. It's sad that NFL is winding to the end, but we get to turn the page. And for guys like you and I who bet so many different sports, who bet so many different leagues, the grind isn't ending here on Wager Talk Today. I would argue the biggest part of the year for guys like Andy and I, like Gianni, the biggest part of the year is just beginning now. So I'm amped up here on a Monday, man.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man. Let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, we got to talk about the national championship game where the line is. I talked to Ralph Michaels. He went down there. He said he was standing in a sports book and a 7 came up on the board. And he was like, the amount of people that ran to the window and just immediately 7.5. He was like, there was like 10 minutes where you could get a 7, but nope, 7.5. So where are we seeing the line moving today? Because almost had it. This has got to be where the public starts getting involved, correct?
Yeah, this is exactly what I told you guys was going to happen. And again, this isn't me being a genius or me being a psychic. It's just that I've seen 35 national championships in my lifetime, and they all play out the exact same way, just like the Super Bowl does. Early in the week, all the money comes in on Team A, and we talk about how the book is heavy on Team A and they need Team B, and all the risk on Team A and all the public's on Team A and the wise guys are on Team A, and they're really going to need Team B to have a good day. But by the time the game kicks off, they're as close to 50-50 as needed. Why? Because it's one of the most heavily bet games, and when that's the case, you're going to get a lot of opinions, and the money's going to come a lot closer to 50-50. And what supports my claim? Just look at the betting line. That's what supports my claim. And I've been following these betting lines in the national championship, in the Super Bowl for the last 30 plus years. And they do the exact same thing every single year. They move in one direction, then they come back the other way. Why? Because if you like Team A and the line's moving in that direction, you got to get out early. But if you like Team B and the line's moving in that direction, you're going to sit back and wait. And that's what Miami bettors did. Why? Because they saw Indiana get bet at the opener at -7, 7.5, 8. It got as high as 8.5 and 9. And that's when the Miami bettors were saying, wait, we may get a 10 by the time this one kicks off, because everything we're reading is the books are going to need Miami. They have so much Indiana money. Indiana. I better sit back. Maybe I will get a 10, but that's never going to happen. Why? Because there's a lot more balance than there is one-sided when we get to a championship game. And that's what we're looking at today. It's come right back to where it more or less opened, and that's because the lines are very tight this late in the season. It happens in NFL, and it's the same in college football. We saw 4 playoff divisional games yesterday, and the opening line and the closing lines were almost identical. You saw some movement during the week, but they almost always come back. Why? Because the lines are pretty tight. They're pretty sharp right now. The books are pretty confident that they're not beatable. That's why they're willing to take a big bet. But like I said, the money's going to keep coming in today. So we'll see what the public does. They're starting to speak now. Because, again, most of the money from recreational bettors will come in today. Like 80% of the money bet on the game tonight will be coming in over the next 5-6 hours. Because, again, most recreational bettors that'll be betting tonight's game, they weren't tying up this money early in the week. They were betting yesterday's NFL, Saturday NFL. So we'll see today how this line moves. But I think it's going to sit around that 7, 7.5, 8. You could buy the half a point to 7 if you like Indiana. You could take it up to 8 if you like Miami. And, of course, the over-under is pretty much, if you like the over, go over 47. If you like the under, there's 47.5s out there as well.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, Blocked? What's up, RJ? Hey, Riley, Titans, Rob. Thanks for joining us. Josiah, Lino, all you guys. I really appreciate it, RJ. Appreciate you guys pulling for my Hoosiers tonight. I still can't get over it. Yanni, I got to tell you, I think this last weekend just was like, I was thinking of you because I was like, that's why Yanni, the way Yanni does it in NFL, just trying to get the best of the number is just so much easier than trying to handicap. How do you handicap how those games played out yesterday in the NFL? Yeah, how could you script those? Like, it's impossible, right?
It really is. It really
that's
is.
Why. And Yanni, like when I'll talk to like my buddies and things like that, like I genuinely will tell them, I don't care about the names on the back of the jersey. And I'm sure we're going to get into this whole Stidham situation throughout the week. What's the line doing? I mean, the sharps are already coming back in. Those 5.5s are starting to disappear. But I think that's something that's tough for people to grasp is like, this really is just a numbers game. It's no different than when you're talking to your financial advisor on beat the market. Start there. And there's nothing more fun than when you're winning bets. You know what I mean? That matters way more to me than if my favorite team is winning a football game. You know what I mean? And that's something that I learned from you.
But that's the difficulty. That's the disconnect. Most get into betting because they were sports fans. Like you don't get into betting NFL unless you like NFL. And most cross over from being fans to then becoming bettors. And again, we know markets are so difficult to beat. Every single market's very difficult to beat. There's a small elite class that continues to make money in markets. And, the cliche is markets are, a method or more or less a vehicle of taking money from impatient people and giving it to the patient people, because that's what usually happens. Most get excited. They're sports fans. Then all of a sudden sports betting opens up to them and they just want action. They want to predict the winner. They want to bet on their favorite teams. And then they start seeing, wow, this is costing me money. And now they want to do it and try to profit from it. But it's very hard if you approach it from that perspective. And for the longest time, that was me. I was watching every, sports show I can. I was watching every game I can. I was absorbing all that, thinking that was going to make me a better sports bettor. And nothing could be further from the truth. It did nothing to improve me as a sports bettor. In fact, it made me a worse sports bettor because it made me more of a fan than an investor. And until I finally learned to separate myself from that and actually treat it like a market, like any other market, and there's simply numbers on a board, and the market's either efficient or it's not. And the way you make money from it is finding those inefficiencies. Until that really made sense to me, honestly, I was doing the same thing, man. I was watching Sports Center. I was trying to figure out what team's better than the other, who's going to beat that team, trying to figure out situations and all that shit. And then I just, like I said, I started seeing the guys that were actually making money doing this. What were they doing? And most of the guys that I saw that were moving the lines, that were determining the market at the Stardust, they couldn't name me 5 players. They couldn't tell me who won last week's game. They could care less.
Yep.
To them, it was all about the number. Wait, the number should be 6. It's 4.5 here. Let's blast it until it gets to 6. And again, it's just a different approach. But what works for you at the end of the day, what works for you? And for me, that's just been the easiest way. Trust in my numbers because I believe they're not biased. I'm biased. And I fine-tune them more and more each year. And luckily, they've been successful.
Let's take a look at some of these opening lines here, Gianni, for next weekend. Obviously, I can't with Patriots fans. Easiest schedule the easiest schedule in NFL history. They get CJ Stroud off a historically bad
Herbert,
deer in the headlights performance, and now they get the Broncos, who immediately announce that their quarterback is out. Credit where credit is due. They beat
they're beating the teams in front of them. They're just damn lucky that those teams suck. But to that point, this is a good question for you, Gianni, because we talk about the strength of schedule. We talk about how weak it was. We talk about how lucky you could argue that the Patriots have gotten, but they've done what they've had to do. However, this year in the NFL, how many good teams really were there? I would say this year more than ever, there wasn't those teams that were just worlds above as far as power rankings were considered. So, what do you think with these opening lines, and what do you think just as far as the Patriots getting to roll through an easy schedule? Well, that's what you do when you have a last place schedule,
Well, you can't not listen. Here's what I've learned, and I've learned this from MMA. Because with them, and it's like boxing, combat sports, where some guys come in with this great record and you're like, wait, they haven't fought anybody. And I used to punish them for that. And I found out that's the wrong move. What you do is you give credit to the side or the fighter that has the strongest strength of schedule, but you don't punish the team or the fighter with the weaker strength of schedule if they've been winning. You can only fight or play who's in front of you. And with New England, not only have they been winning, but they've outperformed the betting market significantly. They're a 16-3 team that's 14-5 against the spread. Let's not forget that. So this is a team that's covered about almost 75% of their games. So we keep talking about how they're not legit, how they're not real, how they've got the easiest sense of schedule. Somehow they're winning games and they're covering the point spreads. That's the bottom line. Because now they come into this game having covered 5 straight. They've been favored in every single game. So what does that tell me? They just haven't been favored by enough points. So if anything, it's the market still undervalued, possibly New England. But here's what I think with this game. Here's what sticks out to me the most. Everybody's going to talk about the weak strength of schedule from New England. But if they dig a little deeper, what they're going to find out, the team that had the second easiest schedule is the Denver Broncos at number 30. So Patriots had the 32nd easiest schedule. The Broncos had the 31st. Notice how that works, how those teams that had the easy strength of schedule tend to be in these playoffs. Seattle had the 20th toughest strength of schedule. Those teams tend to do pretty good in these, get to the playoffs, because in the NFL, you don't have 5-game, 7-game series. The cream don't always rise to the top. The best team don't always win the Super Bowl. And that's where there's a lot of randomness involved. So I do think New England does get a lot of heat for that soft strength of schedule, but they have been kicking ass and covering games. Here's the bottom line with this game. Valiant over replacement player. What's the backup worth? That's the bottom line for Denver. Who's the backup, and what's the backup compared to the starter? Do the math. I haven't done mine. I haven't done it all yet, figured it out. I talked to my power rating guy yet. I still have to do that. But from what I can see is the early money has come in on Denver. The first move, the initial move was on New England. So it was, again, that's not surprising because of the injured quarterback. So the first move may be like, okay, he's injured. Let's get on the team that's going to be 100%. So the first move went to New England and went to 6. That's when you started seeing the money come in on the Denver side, saying this line may be a little bit too high, a little bit too adjusted. And that's why we're looking at 5 right now. And the total, they brought it out low anyway at 41. So I didn't think you're going to see much movement there. And that's exactly what happened. It's sitting around 41.5. So it's going to be interesting to see what it does. Second game, Rams, Seattle. Dude, these teams are playing each other again. They're the best teams. Power rating wise, number 1 versus number 2. This is exactly what we should be seeing. In the NFC, we are seeing the best 2 teams actually play each other. That's the beauty of it. And, we have history here. One team won. They each won at home, right? They've each won at home. So you got to give the edge to Seattle, and that's why they're a 3-point favorite. But here's what we do know. No team has about a 3-point home field advantage. So that's why you're seeing 3 plus 105, 3 even money. It's like a 2.5. It's like a 2.5 because Seattle's got about a 2-point home field advantage. and power rating, they're about a half point better. So they're putting this line right where the power ratings are, and that's why you haven't seen any steam really come in. Now, sharps are going to look to get the best of 3. So if there's a 3 out there that they could take advantage of at -110, that's what they do. If they could lay 2.5, that's what they do. If they like the favorite, if they like the dog, they're going to look to take the 3. So far, that's what it seems like the market's doing in the NFL. The total there, we haven't seen much movement. 47.5, 48s. Sitting steady. It'll be interesting to see as the money starts to come in from sharp bettors which way this line moves. But I don't think we're going to see much movement because it's already been adjusted for the quarterback situation. And like we talked about at the top, lines in the playoffs are extremely tight. You don't expect to see much movement.
Let's take a look at it's a huge day in basketball. This is like one of the best NBA days. Games start in 45 minutes. So real quick, Seth asked how we're doing on cricket. Everything is locked on DraftKings. Yeah, they won't let you live bet it because it's so big of an ass kicking. That's how big our team's winning. They're like, nope.
You love to have that problem.
Yeah. So let's talk college basketball, NBA. NHL, what are you seeing out there, Yanni?
Let's give you some of the stuff from this same sheet that'll be on there. 855, Columbia, +9. That one's early. 867, Fairfield, plus the 6.5. 875, George Washington, plus the 3. 884, Northern Arizona, plus the 5. In the NBA, Indiana from +9 down to +7. And 577, Miami, plus the 6.5, baby. Boom.
All right. Good stuff, Yanni. What do you have up for today? Big day.
All right, we're coming off a big weekend. Now, I lost my 5%, and here's what I'm going to say, because I got a lot of people that I know jumped on board for the package, for the 5%, for the year. Here's what I did over this weekend. Yesterday, we went 6-1-1. If you didn't make money, you're doing it wrong. You got to reassess your thesis. You really do. I talked about it in the Steam Room. Please watch it yesterday. I urged you not to join me if you're not ready to do this the right way, because I've had one of the best 7 days you're going to have. We've really had a good week. And in fact, in the NFL right now, over the last 7 days, I'm exactly 10-2-1. We've lost 2 bets. One of them was the 5%, but I'm 10-2-1 over the last 7 days in the NFL. 6-1-1 yesterday, 4-0 on those props. And what I have going tonight is a 4% on the side, a 4% on the total in the national championship, and props will be added as confirmed. So between now and kickoff, as I get confirmation, I'll add props like I did to the NFL yesterday. I think we were perfect on props this weekend. I think maybe 6-0, 5-1. So again, doing it the right way, you should do just fine. But if you're looking for big bets to unload locks, they do not exist. If you're ready to grind and you're built for this, we're going to continue making money. So looking for another big 7 days, sitting number 1 over the last 7 days. So that 5% did go down, but it didn't hurt the profit overall. Let's get ready for these next 7 days. I love the divisional round games. I mean, the conference championship games. Lines are off. But first, let's hit tonight's game. Let's sweep it and start the week good. Steam sheet will be up within the next 30 minutes. We got college basketball. We got NBA. This is a big day because a lot of people are off from work and they're betting these basketball games. So let's do some damage today and sweep tonight's game.
All right. Let's do it, Yanni. Appreciate you. This is cool. Dan, everyone that is on the show today is on the leaderboard.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I'm number 1 last 3 days. Steve Merrill's number 3. Yanni number 1 last 7. Crack 230 last 30. So that's pretty killer.
You love to see it. And I know that Crack, we'll talk with him in just a few minutes here. But I know that he's been smoking college football. I know bowls and playoffs, I think it's like a 9-4 run. I'll confirm that. But I know he has a play tonight on the national championship. WT.buzz/Crackman is where you can get his action for tonight's game. But Andy, yeah, man, that's you love it when it's this time of year when we're transitioning out of football and we get to have some of the best cappers on here. Friday's a great show because of Football Friday, but Monday's quickly becoming my favorite Wager Talk Today show. It's moving up in the power rankings, Andy.
Yeah, it's good. And yeah, as we come out of football, there are plenty of sports out there, guys. Plenty of sports out there. This is like kind of where we specialize. We have that.
I mean, Andy, we're 11 days away from about 11 days away from the first college lacrosse games kicking off. You see, I got my lacrosse hat on. This is a sport that Andy and I, we've been betting in and out. I'm the lacrosse capper on Andy's team, so to speak. So we'll be having free picks for you in daily college action outside of college basketball, the NHL stuff that Andy's going to be doing, the NBA stuff that Andy's going to be doing. So we'll have you covered here, folks. Don't worry. The action will not be dropping off. If anything, the action is going to be ramping up here. Good question here from Blocked. Gianni is a staple on this show. Gianni will be here. He gets his 2 days off, and we got him 3 days a week here. We'll maybe see him a couple times here and there. But yes, he will be a solid fixture here on the program, Block. So no worries there, brother.
Well, let's do WTF LFG, props on the national championship.
Sure.
Anything? All right.
Yeah.
This is WTF LFG. Dan, this is your segment. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so here, I'll pull this up for you because we haven't gotten to see it for a couple days. If you haven't tuned in, guys, WTF LFG, we give you a bet here. Sometimes, it's a little bit off the reservation, like this one will be for you, and you can either tail it or you can follow it. Andy lets us know. I have a feeling he might be following this one. It's a square play. This is a pizza money bet. This is if you have it out where teasers at least make sense to bet, because I'm playing this national championship game tonight, Andy. I liked Indiana all week long. So essentially what we're looking to do, these sevens are starting to pop. Still at 7.5. Hey, why not try and pick the winner here? I'm doing the teaser, 6 points. I'm taking Indiana down to a point favorite, essentially asking them just win the football game. If you can only get it 1.5, grade me at 1.5. Let's do it. We'll grade it at 1.5 since that's the prevailing number out there. And then, Public and Sharps are loving the under in this game here tonight. And if you're looking at how either of these teams win, it's either an Indiana potential, blowout, or Miami is able to at least keep pace. I think the one thing is Miami doesn't want to do is be in a shootout with this Indiana team, because I don't know if they have the firepower to make that hang. So what we're going to do, we're going to be square, and we're going to take that over, up an extra 6 points, and go under that bad boy. So we're taking that 47.5, turning that up over that nice 50 number, and we're going under. So Indiana 1.5 and under, same game teaser, WTF LFG, the squarest one I think I've ever given out, Andy.
Well, clearly, when you have Indiana winning, but it's
you like that part of the equation.
Give you an LFG, yes, absolutely LFG. So that will go.
It's tough to find the Miami love out there, Green. That is for sure. That's why I'm not interested in laying 8.5, 7.5. I mean, the buyback clearly has come, Andy. The 8.5s are gone. This thing is 7.5, 7. And I don't think it goes lower than that, but that's what you're looking at.
Yeah. So
who do you think I learned it from, Seth? This is a KIV special, doing a college football teaser that involves a total that's the most negative EV play you could ever do. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's a horrible bet. But that's why I see. Let me bring on Bill, because I see Bill puking in his mouth. There's no worse bet on the board than what I just told him, right, Bill? I mean, that's horrible. It's a college football total teaser in the same game. It's idiotic. It's stupid.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that for the public, but now
that's a true square, recreational bettor dream right there, is a bet like that, Bill. The books would love somebody walking up to the counter and saying, "Yeah, let me bet a teaser minus 120 and bet a college total." But hey, let's have a little fun tonight in the national championship game. How we doing, Bill?
Yeah, it's amazing, bookmakers. If you bet that a college football total and a teaser, which of course you're never supposed to bet tease totals. If you win on them, just run good by luck. They find a way to bitch and complain.
This is true.
It really is amazing. I'm right now. I'm mad at a lot of the books for complaining. They made so much money, and I'm talking about the local bookmakers, the big books. They made so much money off the square public betting parlays and teasers, but yet someone runs a little good and they say, "Well, we got to look into this guy. He's beating us. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Let's look at this like they're cheating or past posting or something." So, if you want to have some fun with the game, I guess it's on TV. It's the big game. It's the Super Bowl of college. I know everyone has to have a bet on the side. I get it. It is what it is. This game is the line now is so efficient. It's basically like a playoff game. Excuse me, I get some water, guys. It's like an NFL playoff game. That's how the line is. So I didn't think we were going to settle around 7.5, but it looks like it. I thought it was going to stay 8.5, or even the public was going to come in a little more in the favorite. So I'm pretty surprised by that line. How about you guys?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. This was something that Gianni touched upon, Andy, where he was like, "Hey, the buyback will eventually come." And day of that's typically when you're going to see that going through. So I know, Bill, you got to play up on your page right now in that game, and you've been running hot. So if people want your true thoughts, they're going to have to head on over wt.buzz/Crackman. But Bill, I know this huge NBA slate that we have. We're going to get a player prop from you. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, you mentioned a little pissed off here heading into Monday, as even sometimes after a winning weekend, Bill likes coming on here and being a little pissed off. So thoughts on what we saw here in the divisional round as we move forward here to conference football, NFL overview, because these championship games have quite the interesting handicap as we move forward. But as we look back to what was the weekend like, and what are our takeaways heading on in here on a Monday morning?
Well, you know why? It doesn't matter win or lose. I am always sticking up for the players and the customers, just everyone that bets. I know the trials and tribulations, what they go through, and sometimes when I see these, bookmakers getting, so upset someone won, I have friends that are in risk in some different rooms around town, so I hear these chirps. What's going on? Like, I actually, let's kind of get a little sketchy area here. I don't want to rat no one out by accident. I'll just tell you. You wouldn't believe the management of certain sports books when customers win. They'll actually, instead of just having that old antiquated, they just think something's going on. Like they must be cheating, or, oh my God, there's these cheating scandals lately. We have to make sure we look now, make sure these guys aren't betting a line that moves. Like, I just hear these things, and everyone's supposed to just lose and give them your money. I mean, they should use a mask and a fucking gun. I usually never curse. Wow, that just came out. Sorry. Can you even curse on this show? I don't even know.
Oh, you're we get one F word a week, so we used it on our Monday. So it's all good, Bill. It's all good. If there's anyone who I would want it to use it, it's you. So let's be fair.
You guys know I don't use the F word. I curse, but I don't do it on air. I just
you earned it.
Expressive. But yeah, no, I just know a little bit more, like I said, what goes on in some of these risk rooms, and they just think automatically if you win, something must be going on now because of these scandals that have come out, and there's going to be more of them. By the way, this is not when you're dealing with it's funny how you're reading the newspapers and stuff, then the books want to give interviews and say the reason why you know about this cheating is because of us. Really? Is that how you know? You think you guys really know because there's some bets a certain way or something? Like, you don't think it was an investigation because there was a rat involved in the case? Trust me. I know there is some certain line that everyone comes in and everyone bet Boston College together in that one instance, or Arizona. I get it. But in the end, it's always about greediness, and someone didn't make enough money and someone rats someone out. That's how these scandals get divulged to everybody. So anyway, so going back to that, I do stick up for the public. Right now I'm going after a sports book on my Twitter account. I'm going to be going after them again. The guy was on the front of Forbes magazine, a billionaire, and he claimed to be a billionaire 20 years ago, and now they're not paying players offshore. It's an offshore place, not paying players, and I'm not going to hold back. This guy has so much money, and now they're not paying. And there's cheating going on in the poker rooms. I seen this bot room set up. I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe. Like, I do though. But of course, we're in 2026 now. Things are very sophisticated. There's been cheating going on in online poker for 20 years, but now I'm hearing he's not paying people that are in the casino playing. So and I know he's not supposed to be the owner no more, but Billy Boy knows a lot more than most people. So, anyway, yeah, that's where we're at, guys. What else? What do you guys?
I love it. Go get their ass crack. We love it. And I like Wayne's here for the picks, not the jibber jab. We do both here, Wayne. We got your back. So, hey, Bill, I know typically when they
then I talk about things.
Yeah, no, we like the jibber jabber. There's a reason why we have Bill hopping on here every Monday to kick off the week. But Bill, let's talk at least. This huge NBA slate. This is one of the biggest NBA games. Games are going to be tipping off here, right around the corner. So you have anything for us in the player prop front? Be NBA, anything maybe even on the national championship game? What are you thinking? We need to at least give someone like Wayne a pick here for the folks. Yeah,
Wayne a player. You might have to, go crazy. And I'm sure you never watched ESPN and all the BS they put on there. Okay. Let's see. What was I giving out tonight? I was giving out. You guys want to play in NBA? One of the ones I bet, obviously. NBA, MLK. All right. Jalen Tyson over 19.5 points, rebounds. Let's see his current line. I bet that at 7:22 a.m. All right. So anyway, that's all right. Now, over 19.5 points and rebounds, minus $1.30. I'm looking here. Yeah, he's been playing a lot of minutes. So there's some injuries there. Garland and there's another guy, Merril. So these guys are out, and the Thunder has been, have not been that great recently. So I like his over. They haven't been that great recently, I should say, against these kind of like spot up shooters. So. They give up a lot of rebounds to guards and stuff. So let's over on his points and rebounds. There's a play for guys, for you people out there. There's a freebie. But as far as this weekend goes, let's look into some of this football this weekend. I've seen the Sixers up there last night, and I said I would lean towards the dog. And of course, I didn't take the 6. I didn't know if they would be gone so quick this morning. I seen that 6 that was up there, and you know what though? Out of the 2 games, I would think the other game, the underdog in the other game, I see +3 -15 at a couple places. And just to let you know, I usually don't bet NFL sides, and I'm going to show you guys this spontaneously. I'm the rare person in the world that puts their money up where their mouth is. There's my last night. I thought that was a really good line. So I actually bet the Rams +3 -15.
Plus the 3.
Yeah, when it came out last night. Matter of fact, there is still a couple +3 -17. I'm looking at.
Oh wow.
+3 -20 at a couple. I hate late 20, but I laid -15. And I don't do a lot of NFL sides, as you guys know. I just thought in this situation, I know Seattle's going to be ready for them off a big week, but I just think that the Rams kind of had that last game they played, and I don't think they'll make the same mental mistakes to let Seattle back in this game. That was a great game. It was a primetime game. It was a great game.
Yeah.
But that's just a lane. I'll try to have more money on these props. I've been finding some bigger limits, to be honest with you. I'll have more money on props than I'll have on the side, as we know. I like to bet a lot more on them. Real excited for that. Couple games here that there is going to be. I can tell you right away, in one of those games, I already have my brains already circled around a number when it comes out. But some of these it's amazing. Some of these sites back east, the FanDuels and DraftKings, they put out props already on the game last night. The props were up for next week. Now, of course, if I go over there and if I play DraftKings, they put all out alert and get Krackomberger out of the building. He's betting. They limited me to $250 at the counter, which I'm grateful for, because from the online one, I'm only allowed $4, $3.97. So it doesn't matter. None of these sites can stop any guy that's a pro. We're gonna find someone else. We're gonna beard in. Oh, and thank you for the bonus. And they're not gonna know it's us for a while. It doesn't. So why ban anybody? I mean, we're only gonna get back in anyway.
He can't be stopped. He will not be stopped. The pros. We'll keep on rolling. Yeah. Bill, absolutely love it, man. I know you got your show coming up here with Kelly, so we won't keep you too long, brother, but always a pleasure. Appreciate you, man. One more time, remind people where they can find you, what you got up, because the deals are great. We got that 3 for $7. We'll talk with Andy. You only pay for 3 days of access, and you get 7 days of plays. That's got to be a no-brainer with the action that you'll have rolling here for these next few days. Well, listen, I mean, you got the national championship tonight, but you can rock through the weekend if you grab it now, those 3 for $7s.
Kelly in Vegas just sent me this. Use the code CRACK, capital letters, KRACK 25 to take 25% off anything Crackman, including my 1999 year, which is going to be $14.99.
Wow.
That takes 25% off. So anything you do, I hope I'm giving this out right. I guess it's anything. You know what? Tell them it's anything. Tell them I said it was okay anyway. Crack 25 with a KRACK 25 takes 25% off anything Crackman. That's what it says here. So, yeah, get in. We got a big play on tonight. We have a play tonight. It's not going to be one of a side. If you're looking for a side on an efficient market, you don't buy my stuff. I'm sorry. It's almost unbeatable, this line. So, but if you're looking for some a good edge and you're looking to get along for a long-term edge, you want to join me.
Love it.
That code. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Sorry I went too long for that guy.
Never.
Never. Guys, I'm talking about other things.
Hey, we got AWB. He commented. He says he does condone some jibber jabber. So we're all good, Bill. Best of luck this weekend. Best of luck with the play going tonight. And Andy, I'm not sure what Bill's play is tonight, but I can guarantee you he's not teasing the total on the college football game. I can tell you that much, man. But great stuff out of Bill. Again, you can find him at Crackman, Crack25. But what were you going to say, Andy?
You literally gave out a play that we are not allowed to do at WagerTalk.
Yes. That is why I'm the co-host of WagerTalk Today, because the plays that ride with you guys here in the chat that you're usually dropping in, I'm condoned to drop those. If Andy put in same game teaser with Indiana down and the total going under, yes, Andy would not be at WagerTalk anymore. that is for damn sure. Yeah, Andy,
let's do some free quick. Let's do some free.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. We got Steve coming up, but you got a great slate coming here today and all around the world. So let's break down some free plays for the folks. And also, Andy, I mentioned that with Crack. He's like, he always preaches, that long-term access. A year is a great way to play, but a lot of folks aren't going to hop in on that. That's why I think this special, where it's 7 days, a whole week of plays for what you're going to pay for 3 days, this is an absolute no-brainer. And for guys like you, this is a perfect time to get it because you're betting every league pretty much. So all around the world, and also tell people about that special because it's a great one.
Yeah, it's a site-wide special, but it works great starting today for me and my team and my plays. It's 7 days for the price of 3. And yeah, if you're all access, you've already hit a 4% cricket play today. You have Australian Open plays that are already locked in for tonight. There's a 5% UFC best bet that is already up for this Saturday. That is included. There's a 4% college national championship play that's up. You get all of our NBA props, anything that we're going to have. And this week is Australian Open heavy. So you're going to have a lot of tennis plays. These are plays that we follow. You probably have not heard of most of these players. It doesn't matter. They're going to cash you tickets. In fact, after Steve Merril, I'll go over one of the new markets. Stick around for after Steve Merril. I'll talk about the new markets that we've discovered in Australian Open. So yeah, there's not a lot. It's, football's almost over. This is perfect for us because this is where we do all of our damage in all these other sports. You get our golf plays. We had a nice little golf week. Shout out to Rob for giving me some flowers on the golf pick. So 7 days for the price of 3. It's a no-brainer. We're number one the last 3 days. We hit 4% best bets in NFL. So we're seeing the board in pretty much every sport really, really good right now. So, all right, all around the world, free plays. This is for all you guys watching live. Hawks and Bucks, 1 o'clock start. Kyle Kuzma. We're going to take him over 9.5 points. Listen, it's terrifying to bet on Kyle Kuzma to play well. I get it, but he's gone over in 4 of his last 5 games. His minutes are steady at 20 minutes, solid volume, 7 shot attempts. Atlanta gives up 120 points per game. Kuzma has gone over this number 9 straight games against the Hawks. No matter what team he's playing on, he goes over this total against Atlanta. If you haven't seen what's going on with Bam Adebayo, Dan, he's having an out-of-body experience. This is a guy who is a complete under. Like, you were just taking his points under. He was not scoring. He looked washed. He just went for 30, 22, and 29 points in his last 3 games. He made 4, 3, and 6 threes during that stretch. He doesn't shoot that many threes. It's crazy. So you could look at his points over 18.5. You get plus money over 1.5 made threes. If he's going to keep shooting 4 and 6 3-point shots, you're getting a really good plus money on that one. So very, very strange what's going on with Bam Adebayo. A couple of NHL plays. Alex Tuck will have a point. He has a point in 7 straight games, point in 5 straight against Carolina. Owen Tippett over 2.5 shots on goal. That's a plus money play. He's recorded 3+ shots in 7 straight. He's getting 6.6 shot attempts. So there's some NBA and some NHL. And after Steve, we'll talk some tennis and get you guys some parlay pieces and more of that stuff. So there you go. There you go. No jibber
Well
jabber,
done, Andy.
Dave.
No, that's no jibber jabber. That's just all action right there. You know who is always all action and just about that action. No, it is not Marshawn Lynch. It is Steve Merril. Steve Merril joining the show here on a Monday. Steve, how was the weekend, brother? How we doing today, man?
Give me no jibber jab. I'm trying to think what movie that's from. There's definitely a movie where they say, don't give me no jibber jab. I saw Airplane a few weeks ago, and they were talking jive. Bet, Dave.
Yeah, you jive turkeys.
Saw me a piece of porterhouse, drink side, run the Java. Yeah, it was a good weekend. NFL 2-1 again, and NBA swept the board 3-0. The pro sports, man, I love them. And number 1 in the NFL best bet profit over like 14.5 months, going back to like November of 24 now. And the NBA best bets, number 1 in profit the past 2 months. So it's a great time to be playing college hoops, pro basketball, pro football. And there's a little thing called college football still going tonight. I do have a best bet in tonight's game. But as you know, breaking it down free as always here as well. Dan, you'll like this comment I just saw in my Indiana video. Someone's like, if it's such a big game, why are you giving it for free in a video? And I replied back, because I'm a man of the people. I don't know how else to
because
reply
he's
to that.
Steve effing Merril. That's why.
It wasn't.
I mean, you new to the channel.
It was a question, but I'm almost like someone still finds a way to complain when I'm giving the national championship video for free. Amazing.
They ain't got no time for the jibber jab. It was the A team. It was Mr. T, the A team, who had no time for the jibber jab.
It was Mr.
Yep,
T.
I
love
the
Mr. T.
I forgot.
Don't give me no jibber jab. Don't give me no jibber jab, Murdoch.
We pity the fool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Dan.
we pity the fool who is not subscribed to WagerTalk TV. By the way, guys, we threw down the gauntlet, and I know you were doing the same, Steve, in your videos. We said before conference championships, you guys love, what we do here. We appreciate you watching. We wanted to get over 240,000 subscribers. So now we are under 10,000 subscribers away from 500,000 folks. So keep hitting that subscribe button. Keep telling folks about it. But big shout out to the team. Big shout out to what you do from the video side, Steve, because huge part of getting us over another monumental hurdle. So just a little flowers for us here on a Monday.
Awesome.
Great job, you guys. Yeah, for sure.
250,000. I'll have to do the mini. I'll start doing the Austin Powers now in the videos. A quarter
of a million.
Yeah, well, just like a quarter finger.
Yeah, Steve. Well, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there and get the full pinky extended. But you see Andy rocking the Indiana. I know you have a full breakdown on your channel. We break down every side of this game, folks. From any way to bet it, from the prop perspective, total. Steve has a great video up on it. He'll break it down right now. But we got other ones on the channel as well. We have 6 different videos breaking down this national championship game. So if you're not ready to bet it after what we've done here on WagerTalk TV, I don't know what you're doing. But Steve, you'll be the latest to give us some thoughts here. Miami, Indiana, and we also got some NBA plays with you.
Yeah, once again, if you want a deep dive, I got like a 10-minute video with the complete national championship breakdown. And one thing I do point out in the video is that if you like Indiana, don't play the minus 320 money line. You play the point spread. I know, as Bill said, and I've said in the video as well, it was the look-ahead bettable line was 5.5 before the semifinals. Both DraftKings and FanDuel had bettable numbers, 5.5 over Miami in that possible matchup. Right as the game ended, everyone posted 7.5, went up to 8.5. It's still 7.5 now in most spots. So, yes, you've lost some line value. My 10,000 game simulation actually favors Indiana by 8.5. So I think the number's where it should be. But my point, though, in the video is that if you like Indiana, don't let that key number being off 7 now scare you, because historically it doesn't matter. the team that wins the game covers. Whereas vice versa, if you like Miami of Florida, yes, maybe you're getting some value now at 7.5 or 8.5, but you also probably want to put part of it on the money line because, once again, the point spread historically does not matter. We say this a lot in the Super Bowl. And it was like that for decades in the Super Bowl. If you pick the straight-up winner, you got the point spread winner as well. But let's look at the recent history of the college football championship game. Going back the last 6 years, favorites are 6-0 straight up and against the spread. So, yes, once again, you're better off just playing the money line. If an underdog wins, they'll probably win the game outright. But what's remarkable to me, too, is that most of those have been double-digit wins. Going all the way back to when Joe Burrow did it back in 2019. They beat Clemson by 17, 67 total points. The next year, Bama was a 9.5-point favorite. They routed Ohio State by 28. We got 76 points in that game. 2021, Georgia beat Alabama by 15 as only a field goal favorite. Got to 51 there. And then probably one of the best college football plays I've ever had was 3 years ago at the Georgia game against TCU. TCU, if you recall, was a phony team that season. Georgia was a 13.5-point favorite. And there again, everyone thought they priced it high enough where you could get some action on the dog. I didn't buy in on that. 65-7, 72 points scored there, a 56-point win. And, of course, or actually I did the math wrong there. What was that? 58-point win. Those big numbers confuse me. 2 years ago, Michigan, 4-point favorite. They beat Washington by 21. They got to 47 still, which is tonight's total. And then last year, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, a little bit of a phony team as well. 8.5, exact same line as tonight. Ohio State won that game by 11, and they got to 57 points. You'll notice every game got to 47 or higher, and the favorites won and covered every one of those and won by double digits. So here again, if you like Indiana, you lay it. If you like Miami, you definitely put some on the money line because they're going to probably need to win the game outright. Historically, the point spread hasn't mattered. As far as the total, though, the full game over 47, the last 6 years have all gone over that. And even though these are two very good defensive teams, we see this in Super Bowls as well in big games, is that we get the blowout factor, we get the garbage points second half. Don't forget Miami Ole Miss at 3 points after the first quarter, and they still got up and over the total last week. So I think you're better off looking at team totals, whichever preferred side you like. Indiana team total 27.5, Miami 19.5. And here again, favorites have done well, and the games get over. So if Indiana wins this game, it's hard not to imagine them getting to 28 points or more. That's what I gave out in the video. I also give you a lot of other information in the video, so go check it out. But if you want the crib notes, Indiana team total up and over 27.5 points, I think makes a lot of sense tonight.
We got a couple of NBA games to have you break down here, Steve. Huge game of slates. Make sure you guys check the times. If you want to get bets in, get them in ASAP. Don't wait till tonight. Half the games will be over. So let's take a look here at the Mavericks and the Knicks. We got Celtics and Pistons. This Knicks team really stumbling here. Steve, this is a team that's 2-8 straight up in their last 10. Mavericks dealing with a ton of injuries, though, so this makes this line does make sense on paper. But, boy, minus 10 is a big number, over under 230. How do you break this game down?
So big NBA card here on MLK Day, daytime and nighttime action. We've got two national TV games for Monday night on NBC and Peacock at 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock Eastern. This is that first game at 5:10 Eastern, Dallas, New York. So I wanted to give you a free breakdown of this game. It will not be on my best bet card because I don't like uncertainty. And, boy, is there some uncertainty in this game. Dallas has 11 guys currently on the injury report, most of them out. Of course, Irving out, and we got, Anthony Davis has been out as well. Cooper Flagg's been out the last 3 games, but he is now questionable, could return tonight. Knicks only have a few guys on the injury report, but both Brunson and Hart missed the last game. Brunson's missed the last 3 just like Flagg. They're both questionable. But this line being 10.5 tells you that the betting markets, the odds makers, think they're coming back tonight. And the reports are they both practiced yesterday, and they might be ready to go. They're officially listed as questionable, but it looks like Brunson and Hart might return, whereas Flagg less likely to return. Still, though, not sure I want to lay double digits in this one, as even without Cooper Flagg, the Mavericks have been a feisty team in the last couple of games. Back-to-back wins against the Jazz. They were about a field goal favorite in both of those games, so nothing special. But what jumps out to me more is the total. Dallas had gone under 6 straight games. Cooper Flagg gets hurt. They've now gone over 3 straight games, the last 3 without him. And this is a situation with Brunson or Hart. Either one returns. It looks like Hart's more likely to return. Brunson might as well. This game could have some points tonight, especially since the Knicks enter here on an 0-3 straight up in ATS slide. So, yes, it's a focus spot for the Knicks. And, yes, they probably get the win. 10.5, a big number. You could also look at the Knicks team total up and over in this one, is they're probably the team that's going to break out a little bit more. 120.5. Had to play this one. And once again, I'm not going to play this one because too much uncertainty for me. But if you want a little bit of a TV play, a 1% lean for national TV, I'd look at the Knicks team total up and over 120.5 tonight at 5 o'clock Eastern on NBC.
All right, now we move to two teams who are not struggling, Celtics, Pistons. I mean, these are the top two teams here in the East. I don't know if we expected Detroit to be this good. I certainly didn't expect Boston to be this good. 26-15, 63% win percentage, and it appears not to be a fluke. The over-under is 224.5. Detroit is going to be -3. Just a great game. If it really looks like these are the two best teams in the East. So who do you see coming out on top?
Yeah, I mean, the Pacers, your Indiana Pacers, of course, last year made that run in the East, and the West was loaded. It just looks like the West is loaded again this year because you're right. These were very well one of these teams. This could be the conference championship game right here. They've actually played 3 times already this season. This will be the 4th meeting between Boston and Detroit. Detroit's taken 2 of the first 3, I believe, and they've been just a great story overall this season. Some really good basketball in the state of Michigan between Michigan State, Michigan Wolverines, and the Detroit Pistons this year. But I agree. I think the Boston Celtics have been a bigger surprise because without Tatum, everyone kind of written them off this season. And one guy that's played a lot better than expected is Peyton Pritchard, the guard, and he is questionable tonight. He missed the last game against the Hawks. He was limited against the Heat, and he's scored 4 points or less now in 3 of their last 4 games, including the game he missed. He has not been much of a piece, but it looks like he's coming back. He's listed as available tonight, and I think that actually could work against the Celtics, trying to work in one of your top 2 or 3 players when he's been out. You've kind of started to learn to play without him and against a really good team on top of that. Celtics, by the way, after losing 3 out of 4, failing to cover all 4, with Pritchard limited and out the last 2 games against Miami and Atlanta, they won both of those games once again as about a field goal favorite. So here we go, a huge step up in class, yet this line is dropped. I think some of that's based on the fact he's been upgraded to probable. Detroit was a 4.5-point favorite. Now it's just 3.5, 3. At 3 or less, I would actually lean towards the Pistons here. But I also like the under. Open 226.5. It's down to 224.5, even 224 in some spots. And since this could be a preview of the conference championship, I look for a playoff intensity in this game. And I think that means defense. And boy, the Pistons playing some defense. They've gone under 7 in a row in 8 of their last 9, playing excellent defensive basketball here. So you can look at the under in the game itself, or since I kind of lean a little bit towards the Pistons as well, not that the line is dropped, I like the under 224.5. I would also like the Celtic team total under 110.5, 111 in this game. This is at 8 o'clock Eastern on NBC and Peacock, your other national TV game Monday night.
Yeah, Steve. I mean, with Pritchard's out, did you see how many 3-point shots Sam Hauser took the other night? 21. Almost set an NBA record.
Unbelievable. Yeah, the Celtics for years have not been afraid. 7 of 8 in the first half.
He was 7 of 8 in the first half. He couldn't miss. So, it was a wild game. Wild game. So, Steve, what do you have up at Wager Talk?
Yeah, so we're on a nice run, as I mentioned. Number 1 in the NFL over the past year in best bet profit. I will have later this week my conference championship best bets. Wherever I see value, it goes up, and often early in the week. So it's a great reason to be a direct subscriber. You get the plays the minute they're posted. I do have my college football national championship best bet up tonight between Indiana and Miami. Also a bonus free play in college hoops. College basketball free play up tonight on Monday as well on my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And we still have some special offers. Buy 3 days, get 4 more days for free. It's 7 days for the price of 3. No promo code needed. So it's a great way to try me out right now and get basketball and football all week long. And those daily free plays, when you're still building your bankroll, go get the free play right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And hey, get there quicker. Shortcut WT.buzz/SM.
Awesome work, Steve. Thanks for the breakdowns. All of his videos are on the YouTube channel.
Thanks,
that's why you should be subscribing. Thank you very much, Steve. Dan, I'll talk a little bit of tennis here with the Australian Open on. These are just the spots to build your bankroll. A lot of people are not paying attention to it, but I cannot put out our favorite play, which is just Sabalenka to win 2-0 in the first couple rounds of the tennis tournaments that she plays in. She's an absolute killer. and she's always playing these really bad. She's playing the woman that's ranked like 708th in the world, and it's minus 800. Yeah, and we have a new rule. We can't put out those parlay pieces with that, but that's a parlay piece. I mean, it's 800 to win 100. Those are just the ways you can pick off some really good, some really good value here. We've discovered really good value and plays in the doubles market. I tried that last week, and we hit 3 in a row. So this is actually a free play that's on the WagerTalk free picks page. This goes off tonight. What happens in doubles is you have these guys and these women that are like specialists in doubles, and then they're just playing a team that kind of got thrown together. So there's this team. I'm going to butcher the names. I apologize. Granolers and Zabayos. They're playing a team, Baez and Comasana. This Baez team, they've lost the last 5 times they've played. They hardly play. They're just thrown together. And this Granolers team, they're like number 11 in the world. So I'm going to take them minus 1.5 sets, and I'm putting them with the same thing going on. Krawitz and Pweets. These are guys that, again, they're double specialists, and they're playing this team. This Rinder Connect and Vacherat, they're unranked. They barely play. It's just these severe mismatches in the first couple rounds of these tournaments, and you can take them minus 1.5 sets. That's a plus money play. That ends up.
Yes, so please.
You dig deep and find these mismatches in the first round of these big tournaments. That's the best way, to take advantage of it. So I'm not trying to play the finals in the Australian Open. There's no value. It's like the 2 best players. You want to find these mismatches and really hammer that home. So yeah, that's got some tennis there. So AW Sabalenka got a really easy draw on her bracket. Yeah, she did. She doesn't have too many. So all right. So Dan, how was the move?
It wasn't awful. Moving across the country is never easy. We had to leave one thing behind, had to end up leaving our sectional couch, which kind of sucks, but it was getting a little old. It was getting a little ratty. So the option was, Andy, get a whole new shipping container that would have been like $1,700 or just buy a new couch. We opted to buy a new couch than get a shipping container. But it was all good, man. Now we're going to be posted up here for a little bit. We're going to be closing on the house in February. So a little bit chaos until then, but glad to be settled in. It's nice booking a flight to head across the country and not having a return flight. Like you know what I mean? Like it usually was, I'm like, well, I got to see my buddies one day. I got to see my family one day. I got to see. So now we're settled down. We're back here on the East Coast. And it's also nice being able to open up my books again, Andy, and be back to the grind, my good friend.
You can actually bet with us now.
I can finally bet again. Yes, I can finally bet again. So I'm happy to be here, man. You and I will be locked in here for the next few weeks. And then, come February, it's going to be a whole new digs for me, but I'm pumped, dude. I'm going to have a dedicated studio spot. I couldn't be more excited. So I think 2026 is going to be the year of the Winning in the Shadows crew. I have a feeling about it, Andy. I have a real good feeling.
It's going to be a big year. It's going to be a really big year. So my doctor put me on steroids. So for the next week, I am like so jittery. It's such a weird feeling. So
way to pair that with some iced coffee as well, Andy. That was a good job by you. Not only am I jacked up on roids, I drank cold brew coffee. That's well done. That was well done.
Why?
It's what we do, Andy.
So silly.
What we do.
So silly. There's a show on Netflix called His and Hers. It's a drama. It's like a mystery drama, and
I'm in.
It has one of the most amazing endings to a show I can remember. Like the show itself is okay,
but the ending saved
the ending.
All right.
Yes, it's like the opposite of Dexter or Game of Thrones,
where it just ruined the show for you. It saved the show for you.
It's it's like 6 or 7 episodes. It's one of those Netflix things. But yes, the most insane ending I've seen. So all right, go Hoosiers! Got a big day ahead of us. A lot of work to get done before, but we got all those plays up. And again, that's 7 days for the price of 3. no brainer starting today. You're going to get all of these plays from Australian Open, cricket, NBA, national championship, and the 5% UFC that goes off. We got some exciting news to talk about later on in the week. Excited about all that. So Dan, thank you very much. Good to have you back. And appreciate you guys watching. Please hit the like button on our way out. Leave us a comment and good luck on all your bets. Go Hoosiers. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.